How have potatoes impacted humans? History of the potato. The potato is one of the most important crops in the world and has had a very large effect on humans. The potato was first domesticated in modern day Peru between 8000 and 5000 BC by humans. The potato distinguished itself from other crops that were domesticated at the dawn of human civilization by their ability to be grown easily. They were also desirable because they have a long storage life and their overall nutritional value is good. It is said that the potatoes started to slowly evolve from their poisonous ancestor deadly nightshade around 350 million years ago in Peru. The potato was brought to Europe in the 1500s when Spanish conquistadors reached Peru looking for gold. While they were in Peru, they didn't find much gold, however, they found the potato. It was seen as a valuable crop, so they brought it back to Europe. European adoption of the potato was slow, and it was originally only used to feed the military. However, over time, people started to see the importance of the crop, and it started to become a commonplace crop that became an essential part of people's diet in Europe. Use of potatoes. There are many uses for potatoes other than just eating them. They have been used for a variety of things in the world. In fact, potatoes are used in some of the biggest industries in the world, including wood, paper, and plastic. Potatoes have started to be used in a new type of more biodegradable wood called medium density fiberboard, or MDF. The new type of wood is made from small fibers of soft and hard wood that stick together using the starch from potatoes. Potatoes contain a large amount of starch, and this starch can serve as an excellent replacement for wax and glue that was being used in this type of wood before. Potato starch is also used to make paper as well. Like in wood, the starch of potatoes does a much better job at sticking the small particles of paper together, and it is much cheaper than glue. In addition to the starch of potatoes being used in paper and wood, it has also been used to create plastic that is biodegradable. Normal plastic is non-biodegradable and can take up to 500 years to decompose. The plastic made from potatoes only takes 2 months to completely decompose, and it can be used as a replacement for plastic cutlery, plastic straws, and plastic bags. Potato plastic is a relatively new invention, and it's just starting to be used in replacement of normal plastic products. However, it will start to be used more frequently in the upcoming years. More uses of the potatoes. Potatoes have been used for other things as well. Before the days of digital camera, people needed a way to develop photographs they had taken. One approach to this was called autochrome, which involved covering a glass plate with a thin layer of potato starch grains that are dyed red, green, and blue, thus creating a filter. After this, a thin layer of emulsion was added over the starch grains, and when the plate was flipped and exposed to light, the image would start to develop. Potatoes are also used for a variety of medical purposes. Potatoes can help reduce blood pressure because they contain many important vitamins that can help increase vasodilation, which is widening of blood vessels, helping to decrease blood pressure. Potatoes do not decrease blood pressure. They do not only decrease blood pressure, they also improve the overall hearts of people with high blood pressure as they prevent strokes and allow blood to flow better through arteries. In addition, potato juice is full of vitamins and has been used in medicines that help ease body pain, spasms, heartburn, and sprains. The last major use of potatoes is in producing electricity. While using potatoes to produce electricity is not widely used around the world, producing electricity with potatoes is very environmentally friendly and it doesn't produce much waste. In fact, many scientists have revisited the use of potatoes as a power source, either after it was initially rejected. Electricity being formed from a potato works by electric current forming between two metals that are put into a potato, as a salt bridge is formed between them. In short, the potato serves the same purpose as a battery. The potato energy can be used to power many small things, such as clocks or other smaller devices. However, it could power much bigger things in the future. Effects of the potatoes on the modern world. The potato has had a large effect on the modern world as it has allowed countries to sustain much larger populations because potatoes are easy and relatively fast to grow. The potato is currently the 5th most important crop worldwide, as it's a very versatile crop that feeds millions of people each day. The potato not only let countries sustain large populations, it also helped form the modern template for agriculture, seeing as how the potato was one of the first crops that were grown on a large scale to feed many people. The potato taught farmers how to farm crops smarter and more efficiently. And the potato led to the discovery of the Peruvian guano, which was one of the first fertilizers used in farming. The potato also led to the development of the first pesticides in the early 20th century. The pesticides started being developed when the potato beetle started devastating potatoes farmers' crops. Once fertilizer and pesticides were developed, this led to what was called the Green Revolution, which was completely thanks to the potato. The Green Revolution was a set of agricultural technologies that were discovered in the mid 20th century that increased agricultural production worldwide. This revolution saved millions of people from starvation in places where food was scarce and led to the populations growing even bigger. The Irish Potato Famine. The Irish Potato Famine, or the Great Hunger, happened from 1845 to 1852. The famine was started by a disease called the Late Blight, which killed many potatoes that were important to the survival of the Irish. This caused a great amount of suffering, as potatoes were the primary source of food in Ireland in those times, and when the disease hit, it caused many people to starve to death. It also caused millions of Irish to migrate to other places around the world, as they could no longer live their lives in Ireland without the potato. The potato was originally introduced to Ireland in 1565 and was used as a backup crop for other grains. However, over time, the potato became an important winter food, as it was better adapted to the cold and wet environments in Ireland than other plants. Grains in Ireland often suffer from lodging, which is basically lying flat on the ground, which hinders growth, along with pre-harvest sprouting and high amounts of moisture content, which led to grains molding when stored. Potatoes, on the other hand, could be planted almost anywhere and thrived in the wet conditions in Ireland. The late blight, the disease that caused millions of Irish to suffer, was caused by a fungus whose spores would germinate on the leaves and stem of the potato plant. The damage to the potato plant from the fungus became noticeable relatively late in the growing season, and this is why it was called the late blight. The dark spots would form on the outside of the potato, and this was a signal that the fungi's hyphae had penetrated the potato's epidermis tissue, and after the hyphae had spread, the fungus would start to emerge from the potato's stomata in its leaves. After this, the fungus would start to produce asexually produced zoospores, and the stem and leaves of the potato would start to decay, causing the plant to die. Overall, the Irish potato famine had a large effect on the Irish, as the vegetable they largely depended on started to disappear. This not only caused millions of Irish to migrate to other places, it also caused millions of them to die, as they couldn't live without the potato. In conclusion, the potato is one of the most important crops in the world, and it has had a large effect on humans over the years. It has allowed humans to sustain larger populations that were never thought to be possible. The potato has been used for a variety of things, including being used for an alternate to plastic, to being used as a source of electricity. In addition, the potato caused thousands of Irish to starve and caused thousands of them to migrate to other countries. The versatility and easy growth of the potato has allowed it to play a major role in human history. Without the potato, humans would have never been able to sustain such large populations, and they would not have learned how to farm on a massive scale. The vital technologies developed for agriculture would have never been discovered without the potato, and many important uses of the potato would have never been discovered. The world we live in today is largely thanks to the potato, as we never have to worry about having enough food to survive, and we also benefit from the vital inventions from potatoes that have shaped the modern world.